way you can do it. Like you were saying before, Damien, how you don't want to put signs up, those public toilet signs where like you're shitting on the thing. But I remember at my parents' house, they used to put up like, portraits or like little like not a portrait or like of someone's face or something like that, but a cartoon like with a little joke on it. Yeah. And I would say, see if you could find like a little joke, like a picture joke or like a word joke or something like that, which says, don't be the asshole that doesn't flush the toilet or something like that. So when he sits there, he's reading that constantly, daily, and realizing I'm an asshole. It's passive aggressive.
I like that because that reminds me of going to people's houses and you would close the door and there'd be like a funny poem on the back, like roses are red, violets are blue, don't leave this bathroom smelling like poo. Like stuff like that, right?
Smelling like two, Damien.
It's a fun little message.
You got to say two.
Sorry, smelling like number two. I apologize, Tom.
Yeah.
That's very crass. I apologize to the listeners. My formal apology will come after the podcast. We'll go for an hour.
That's 2 strikes.
Number 2 strikes. Yes. Sorry, I apologize.
There's nothing wrong with just telling them as well. Can we just say, flush the fucking toilet, please? That's probably what I would do.
These are passive aggressive pieces of advice. You can just tell him he's your husband. You can say, please flush the toilet. I know you might wake me up or whatever it is, but fucking flush the toilet. I don't want to smell your shit.
2. Smell your 2, Marcus. What are you talking about?
Tom, we just need to cut this question off because it's going to keep happening. We're going to keep slipping up.
That's it.
Let's forget that there. I want to go next with this one. And this one, if I was stuck in isolation with someone, I would say, this is not because I'm a fan of the movies, but I would say I'd like to be stuck in isolation with Tony Stark.
Tony Stark?
Because I feel like it would be very interesting. When people get handy and crafty and stuff like that, imagine what he could do with all the time in the world crafting.
If the latest Avengers film has taught me anything, he solves how to time travel within like an hour.
Yeah, right.
Just to push the plot along. So imagine how much you get done in a month.
Yeah.
But do you feel like it'd be too much? Like anybody in isolation would be too much, but his brains will be too much. And you're just like, all right, Tony, we get it. You're smart. Shut up.
Yeah, but let's be fair. You chose Jeannie, who when you're going through a global pandemic, sometimes jokes maybe are not necessary, and you should just shut the fuck up.
Or what if I just go to Jeannie? Hey, create a vaccine.
Well, that's fine. I could say Tony Stark created a vaccine. Pretty much we've chosen the same person, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Do you know what's amazing? You guys are arguing over your fictional roommates. Who's better?
Tony Stark or Jeannie?
I almost walked up during that conversation and grabbed a beer. I'm just like, I'm just going to sit down and enjoy this for the next 20 minutes. These guys are tearing each other apart.
Iron Man would definitely beat Jeannie in a fight, and I will have nothing else to believe.
Look, maybe, but Jeannie will make you laugh.
He will. Okay, let's go with Iron Man then, or Tony Stark. Tony Stark writes in, roommate won't respect social distancing. So... I've got this roommate who, whenever I'm in the kitchen, finds some stupid reason to get in there too. It's a very small kitchen and we will always end up nearly bumping into each other. He throws his arms over my food, tea, even touches my phone to move it instead of waiting a second. I was annoyed by this, but now with Corona and all, I feel like it's very disrespectful as I take social distancing seriously. How do I let him know that without sounding rude or letting my inner boiling hatred out? Tony Stark.
Ooh.
It's funny with the whole social distancing now. The thing that it's been annoying me more than people getting too close to me is the people who are making like an over-the-top joke of getting out of your way. I don't know if it's happened to you guys.
Whoa.
I'll be at the supermarket and somebody will make a joke like, ooh, and like you can tell they're mucking around and they run down the aisle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like,
keep it safe.
I get it, and we're all in this together, but also it feels like it's becoming like the go-to joke for everybody, and it keeps happening to me, and it's like, just stop. I get it.
You know who wouldn't make that joke? Jeannie.
He would. He'd still test the waters with it. I will say there are these recurring things that happen with like this situation where a lot of people are doing, like you said, over the top distancing, or even just like socially talking about things, being like, yeah, well, it's really uncertain times. I mean, we just got to do what we got to do. We're all in this together. It's like the new how's the weather conversation, but everyone is just repeating the same shit. And because we have nothing else going on, nothing else interesting to talk about, it's all we talk about.
Yeah, everyone talks about it.
And on top of that, going to the supermarket and you like go to an aisle that's been stripped bare and the person looks I've had this happen so many times. I look over me and go, oh, it's unreal. It's like vultures have been through here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's the end of the world. I agree, but it's been in the news for like 2 months now.
We know.
I feel like a joke because
I'm not shocked.
I'm kind of being a jerk because these people are engaging with me and everyone's got a common ground, like you said, Tom.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I've worked in retail. I worked in retail for a long time, and you'd always hear the same jokes, like you scan something and no price comes up, and they say, "Oh, I guess it's for free then." And or you'd ask them, "Is it check, credit, or savings?" And they go, "Oh, savings, more like spending." So like I think it's just that like repetition of the same jokes all the time is just worn me down. So I have no time for it.
Damien, I got to ask you, do you have time for dad jokes though?
Absolutely. I love a good dad joke.
So dad jokes that are probably repeated over and over again, you're okay with, but these retail jokes, you're no good with?
I will say a retail joke is a glorified dad joke.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think that the dad jokes, there's more of a selection of dad jokes. That's the thing as well.
Yeah.
Whereas retail jokes, you've only got a small pool to choose from.
That's true.
So this person here having to deal with someone who is a roommate. So it's not like you're living with your family. It's be different if you've got family members, because they're saying with social distancing, you can't really deal with much distancing from your family. But a roommate though, who's pushing themselves into your way, how would that make you feel, Marcus, as someone who recently had roommates?
I mean, the rules are more to do with your household, not your family. So what's in your household? So they're all in the same household. So if they're all, working from home inside the household, I don't see a problem with that social distancing because you're together. Like I would understand if it's like, all right, this person goes out a lot. Like, for example, if they're a doctor and they have to go into work, see a lot of sick patients, come home, you'd want to try and keep as disinfected as possible as much as you can. But if they're always home, like you're always home and all that, then I don't see that being as big of an issue. I think you just don't like being too close with this person. That's more what it sounds like.
And I think the implication here is that these people are probably still going to their jobs, or at least one of them is, or else they wouldn't be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's how I would take it. You know what I mean? Because if they were both staying home all the time, then it wouldn't matter that you're sharing a kitchen and you're sharing appliances and all that type of stuff. Whereas one of them must be going out into the real world. Like I've had to go into my job, into the office every now and then with a lot of people kind of using the same area, right?
Yeah.
So I've been very conscious if like I have to drop anything off to like my mum or a grandparent because I'm wearing gloves, I'm spraying everything down just to make sure. Whereas this person, that their roommate might just be throwing caution to the wind, and just like licking the counter and stuff and be like, who cares? I'm fine.
He regularly licks that counter liquor.
It's his favorite.
Is there like anyone in your life that's actually probably not taking it seriously, but is a little bit more blasé with the whole social distancing, or just says, "Oh, come on, it's all right, it's okay, don't worry about it"?
Yeah, my parents.
Yeah,
I think it's not that they're like. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're totally against it. Like they're like, nah, it's bullshit, don't worry about it. They are. They're definitely keeping their distance and doing what's right. But there's also times where like recently I went and dropped off something at their house because they needed something, and because I recently moved, they were going to give me something. So I put it down at their door and I said, just leave it at the door. I'll pick it up. I'll drop down my thing and we can, have a conversation from 2 meters away in the open air. That's okay. And then I'll leave. But my mum was like, no, come in, have a coffee. I'm like, no, that's not the point. She goes, oh, you're fine.
Rules.
I'm like, yes, but I'm living with a doctor who sees patients regularly. Like, it's not like we're both working from home, and there's implications, Mum. We can't just do that. Oh, no, don't worry, it's a coffee. Don't worry, it's fine. And I'm like, oh.
It is kind of sweet that your mum's like, no, my boy wouldn't have COVID-19, not my boy. He's the best boy. Come inside, have a coffee.
I will say the people that I think I'd agree with you. The people that are really struggling with this the most are those who practice European hospitality, like it's been their life forever.
Yeah,
and now not being able to do any of this, like come in, have some biscotti, have a coffee, do this, we'll have a chat. Not being able to do that is just crippling them. It's really hurting that particular area.
That is so true. Like my nonno, he's 93 now. When this all first kicked off, he was kind of being like, oh, whatever. Like he was blasé about it. And now it's set in, and he's respecting all the social distancing and stuff. But at the start, it was so funny because he was so blasé about it. And I was like, Nonno, you were born like 5 years after the Spanish flu ended. How are you so chill about this? And then I forget that he lived through like World War II and stuff. And he's like, whatever.
I'm not afraid of a sore throat, okay, Damien? Nazis, though, they're terrifying.
Nazis with a sore throat. Can you imagine? Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but now he respects it, which is good. I'm very happy that, considering he's in his 90s, so I'm glad that he's, he understands now.
I mean, they're getting it. Like, my parents are getting it too, but it's more of a case of it's like, and you feel guilty to say, no, I can't come in and have that coffee. Like, and then you see the depression in their faces, like, oh, come on, please.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
My mum's sort of the same. She's finding like reasons for me to come by. She's like, oh, the printer's not working. Can you maybe come by and fix that? Like, how much are you printing? How much are you really printing in this day and age when you're not allowed to leave the house? What are you printing?
Yeah.
Don't believe her, Tom, because I know she listens to the podcast sometimes when she calls you and says, there's a hole in my wall. Can you come fix it? Because she made that hole. She made that hole.
That's true. Now, she's probably going to call you, though, Damien, because she knows that you can fix the holes.
You're good at fixing holes, Damien.
So
apparently so.
So what should this person do? How do they deal with the roommate then? If, let's just assume that you're not super close to them. You might have only lived with them because of the fact that they're roommates. Maybe only know them for a year. You got to still live with them. What do you do?
I think you just need to lay it down and say, we are both paying like equal parts to live here. We need to respect each other's, our space, and just like be flat out with them and explain to them why they're making you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think during these times, it's hard because in that normal situation, it sounds like you don't really like their company. Like, you don't want to live with them because of this. Before the COVID-19, you were already like, oh, they already breached that personal space. This has just made it worse, but you can't move out right now. So I think you're right. I think you got to sort of have that discussion, say, hey, look, this social distancing, we need to do it because of the X, Y, and Z. I don't want to get no virus. I don't want to get you no virus. Let's try our best to do it. Then once all this shit's out, or once you can move out, see if you can, because it's not going to get any better. This person seems like the kind of person that doesn't understand the social boundaries in general.
Okay, I think that's fair. Let's leave it there for Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Now, Damien, who is your roommate of choice?
This may shock you guys, but I was thinking of getting Bob the Builder to shack up with me for a month.
Wait. Is that so he can fix all the holes in the walls?
Yeah, he's sick of... Damien's like, I refuse to fix more holes. I'm calling Bob.
I want to be Bob's apprentice. I'm going to need some extra hands around the house to just help me patch everything
Bob
up.
the Builder and Damo the apprentice.
That's right. We can fix it. But I'm also just thinking, if maybe I want a pergola in the backyard, maybe he can just start, constructing things around the house.
Yeah, maybe.
What happens when he runs out of tasks? He's like, Damien, everything's fixed. Can I fix anything? You're like, no, Bob, just chill out. And he's like, but Bob doesn't know how to do that. And he just ends up murdering you and your fiance in your sleep.
He speaks in the third person.
No, that's when I grab my finger and I go, shh, Bob, now we fix you.
The one thing Bob can't fix is his crippling depression.
That's right. He's always fixing
Bob.
things. He's running away from his own problems. That's what it is.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what's an actual thing I would like to be fixed in my house? I'm learning a lot more about my house because I'm spending so much time here.
Yeah.
So my front windows, where I'm recording right now, actually, in my study, it's at the front of the house. Mm-hmm. And I have what I thought was one-way windows. Like, it's tinted windows, right?
Yeah.
So when I have the blinds open, when people walk past, I am just staring at them because, they can't see me.
You creep.
Or so I thought until the other night I went out to throw some rubbish out and I had the blinds open in this room with the light on. And as I walked back into the house, I saw that you could see completely into my study. Like, there is nothing blocking it.
Yeah.
And there were times when I was looking at my people walking past my house thinking, it kind of looks like they can see me. And it turns out they could see me this whole time. So I was just eyeballing these people as they walked past my house.
All while being naked.
What is the boy in the AC Milan shirt looking at me for?
That's right. I mean, if I knew they could see me while I was touching myself, I would have been way more turned on. Now I know, so that's great.
I think the problem is you've got during the day it's fine, but at night when you've got a light source coming through and it's darker outside, you will be visible.
Yeah,
that's what I learned, Tom. That's what I didn't think about, and now I know. Well, and I want Bob to fix that.
Bob, he's like, you need a window glass guy. I'm a chippy. I can just pull out a frame. That's about it.
Look, you want a cabinet? I can do that. It's easy.
Bob's like, here's the solution. Stop being a pervert. Stop staring at people.
No, Bob's solution's building a cabinet in front of the window. That's it.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
No more window.
All right. Let's see what
I'll take it.
Bob
All right.
needs fixed.
Bob writes in, am I wrong for buying a guitar and refusing to sell it back when the buyer found out the real value?
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing the guitar for 22 years and know guitar values very well. Recently, one of my wife's coworkers mentioned he was selling his dad's things. His dad had a guitar and asked my wife if I'd be interested. Turns out it was a 1952 Telecaster in mint condition. I asked what he wanted for it, and he told me $4,000 is fair. I agreed. Let it be known this guitar has no sentimental value to this guy at all. Here's the issue at hand. The guitar is actually worth around $50,000 and I knew it. Fast forward 2 weeks, the guy has found out what the guitar is actually